Great, awesome. All right, so week 2 classwork. Let's go ahead and show the students. Everybody wave. Who are you waving at? The wall? The camera? Yeah, so there's a bunch of students. Matter of fact, there's more students taking my online class this semester than taking the traditional face-to-face class that you all are taking, okay? So, I'll make sure my audio's on. So, the students online tell me they really like it when you guys wave to them, because it really helps connect them into the classroom, right? Yeah, that's cool. All right, so in your notes, here's what we're going to do. Good start. So, you know, starting using Canvas this semester and using it the way I'm using it for all of my classes with the different sections has been a real fun challenge for me. But in general, I think it's actually been a pretty good start. I haven't had too many huge, like, uh-ohs. But I have some things I want to go over, okay? And really, it's, you know, and that's where you would come here. There you go. So it's really, too, think about it, right? So as a technology instructor, I should be trying new tech. This should be part of what I do, is always trying something new. So Canvas is definitely ahead of the curve. Most people are not using it on campus yet. So I want to use it so I can help other people learn. So the first thing is, and this goes in your notes, is that I changed my mind about something. If anybody has watched the week 1 classwork, I talked about that I was going to have all the sections only see the work from those sections. Anybody remember hearing that in my... It was actually just a little short blurb. So I've just decided to change it. So here's what this means. Instead of only you seeing the work that you submit when it's work that everyone will see, like hands-on assignment, like the Hello World stuff, you're going to see everyone in all 4 sections of this class. Now what that means is it gets a little overwhelming. I'm just going to tell you is it'll be like, oh my God, right? So many people. So don't worry about it. You'll just see a lot more people in there. At the same time, I think it's kind of cool because you get to see people you will not see in class, okay? So I changed my mind. Honestly, it was a technical thing. There was a technical part. It wasn't just like I woke up one day and went, oh, I'll put them all together. There was a technical issue. So the other thing is that Canvas due dates kind of messed up a little bit, and I'm going to blame Canvas here because I remember setting them correctly. All of my due dates are intended to be set at 11:59 at that date. Okay, so in your notes, all of my due dates are really at 11:59, okay? But here's what I want you to know. Is the item going to go away at 11:59? Okay, so first, Canvas is wrong. It's an hour off. Don't worry about it. But do you think that item is going to go away at 11:59? No. And here's the deal. I don't grade until the next morning. So if you're one of those that works late into the night, you can still work until I grade, and you can even work after I grade. But once I'm in there grading and you haven't done the work, if you haven't done it, then it's a 0, okay? You can still submit late, 25%. We're going to talk about late work maybe in the next couple weeks. But here's what I want you to know, is I hold myself accountable to grade. And if for some reason I wake up, and I have a routine in the morning, I wake up, I meditate, I do yoga, I have a whole process that I do, and then I sit down and I grade on a daily basis. Okay, and the reason I do that is that there's so much work. As a matter of fact, how many items per week does this class have starting next week? 4. 4 items per week. Actually, next week's a little different, sorry. Next week, it's actually the week after. If we're looking at the calendar real quick, very good. If you're looking at the calendar, matter of fact, also if you were wondering, I said this in the week 1, but this is a good reminder. This is when you're going to need the textbook, okay? So the chapter quiz is in Canvas, the ebook is in my IT lab, and then the Word is in my IT lab, and you'll learn all about that in week 1, okay? So, but the reason I'm saying this is that I want you to know is that I don't make things go away. You can submit late for a reduced grade. And if you're working late at night, that's cool as long as it's there when I go to grade. Make sense? Did you get something in your notes about that? Yeah, so put something in your notes that help you remind yourself about some of that, okay? All right, so the next thing is in week 1, hands-on, which was the Hello World, which is basically you using Google Docs to upload your photo and also updating Canvas with your profile picture. In the video, it seems I made a mistake. And the mistake that I made was the way I showed you how to link the file. And I almost want to blame Google for this because I think Google changed something. And this is so typical Google. Matter of fact, they changed something yesterday. Anybody know what it was? You can no longer log out of Gmail from your inbox anymore. Why they changed it, I'm not sure. You actually have to go over, find your profile. It's just different. But that's kind of the way it is. So here's what I want you to know. And by the way, in the week 1 Hello World, oh, that's not the right one. In that item right here, I keep clicking the wrong thing. There we go. I can do this. I actually updated saying here that I had made a mistake and I showed the right way to do it, okay? So when you're watching the video is a mistake, but I actually did also put in the video the information about the fix that needs to happen. But I want to show you in general because this is going to hit you again in week 2 hands-on. So let me just show, as a matter of fact, I will generally always do an example post. And the example post will come from my student account, okay? Which, by the way, do you notice my student account says don't email Rio here? Because I've had some students already emailing me through that student account. I'm like, no. But you can, and let me just slow down for a minute. I do actually ask you, and put this in your notes, to email me through Canvas, right? And the reason I do this is that we're mandated to track our student contact, and that's the way Canvas actually does it. So when when you want to contact me, because there is this nice little inbox mail system in Canvas. So here's the deal. When I was showing this in the video, oh, wrong one. I'll come back to that in a minute. When I was showing it in the video, I actually just clicked on the image, and let me do it again. And I said, just give me that URL. And that didn't work. If you do that, it just gives me a list of the files that looks like this back here. As soon as it goes there in a second. Hey, friend, what's up? Okay, I'm lecturing and recording, but that's okay. Is it bad? That's okay. Yeah, it's in my office. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So, what was I doing? Oh, I was showing you the photo thing. Ooh, I can get back in the game. I can do it. My head can come back. Okay. So here's the deal. When you're clicking on a photo like that, it would make sense to grab the URL, but here's what, and put this in your notes. First, click the pop out. So there was a little button over here, and it's called the pop out. So just in your notes, that way you'll remind, and you can read my text. But once you hit the pop out, then that you grab the URL. By the way, Control-C to copy it. I come over to Canvas, right? And I show you in the video, but I just want you to know in general, right? So I'm going to say link here, and I do like them to be a little larger, something like that. And then you do what's called a hyperlink URL here, and then you're going to paste that in. And this is a little bit of a duplication, but duplication is not a problem. Now at this point, I actually do show you one other step. You, as part of this class, are going to learn HTML. So I've actually already shown you, in this case, how to click the rich editor and get in. This is the HTML that got generated based on the clicking that we've done. And the only other thing I have you do, and I notice it's already added target, I just do underscore blank. Anybody happen to guess or know what underscore blank means? Yeah, open. So we ever seen a link and then it opens in a new tab? That's basically HTML code that does that. So when you're doing that work, I just want you to know, right, that that hands-on is got a little bit of a mistake in it, and we fixed it. All right, at least gave you the information. Okay? Make sense? Any questions about that? Okay, so actually just as a lead-in, that also leads right into the week 2 hands-on, and in week 2 hands-on, you're going to learn something also important, which is how to take a print screen. How many of you, and let's just show them, already know how to take a print screen? Yeah, so a couple of you, that's cool. Everybody else, such a great, just easy thing to learn and a wonderful thing to use through your life is once you know how to use print screen, it's just really helpful. And I also have you do it on the mobile devices, so even if you don't have a mobile device, find somebody. I know you know somebody in your life that has one, so go find them and do it. Okay, so that's coming up in week 2. So now, grading FYI, I want to tell you this. For all the hands-on stuff, right, you have to not only do your post, you have to do 2 replies, okay? So if you just do your main post, and what I mean by that is like right here, as I did a post, right? That constitutes your main post. And what will happen is Canvas will tell you it's ready and waiting for grading. But I'm going to tell you until you do those 2 replies, I don't grade. Okay? So why did I not grade? Because if I grade before you do the 2 replies, then I got to come grade again once you do the 2 replies. So I just want, if you want me to grade ahead of time, then do the 2 replies and I will grade. Does that make sense? So this actually leads into a topic that I want you to understand too. Is there's a real benefit to you working ahead. Some of you have already experienced this, and some of the online students for sure have. So if you submit work ahead of the due date, and I mean at least probably 24 hours, maybe early the day of, I will grade and give you feedback, and you can resubmit if you have something wrong. So if there's, you know, as a teacher, we always say work ahead of the due date. That's like our mantra. We always say that, right? And students are like, yeah, whatever. I'll wait till the due date and I'll do it. And that's cool if you want to do that. But I'm just telling you, there's an additional benefit to you working ahead. So have something in your notes about that, okay? Any questions in general about that? Am I going too fast? Pace about right? I can talk faster. Trust me, it could happen. We good? Okay. Okay. So here's the other thing, is when you're working, because right now you are all doing week 2 classwork, right? So I know it seems a little weird because we're still in week 1, but you're doing week 2 classwork. And I want you to know to always put, because all your classwork is going to end up being on one document, right? And then you put the most current at the top. That way when I go into the document, I see the most current at the top. I don't want to have to go through all the weeks. I want the most current at the top. So in your notes, the most current at the top. And if you want me to show you an example of that, let me just go into this. I have a couple of documents here, I think. Let me see if I have one I can just pull up probably somewhere. Actually, I can just do a new one. Just do a new doc here, right? Which, by the way, I love Google Docs. I think learning it is really a good thing. So when you're doing this, right, you do week 1, and then you would do, and I showed this too, week 2, right? And then, anybody know what else I like here? When you're doing the weeks? Yeah, I like you to do either a title or a heading, something to you know, and then subheadings within there. So right now, in our notes, what's the heading we're working under? Week 2, and then within week 2, subheading, good start, okay? So when I look at your notes, that's what it should look like. Now, some people are wondering, Ria, what do you want for notes? And really what I'm looking for in your notes is I'm looking, did you get the major concepts? Did you pay attention? Did you get the major concepts? Some people tend to overnote. I think we've taught you all that you don't have to overnote in this class. And really it's for your own benefit too, because later if you have a question about something, you can refer back to those notes. Okay? Good so far? Okay, so the other thing, my IT lab is coming up. Matter of fact, when is my IT lab coming up? Let's go to Canvas and look at the calendar. I actually just said it a minute ago. Anybody remember? Right here, 25th. Okay? So when you're going to set up your My IT Lab, which I give you a video for how to do that, I just want to make sure you all have this concept, is that you have to enroll. So in your notes, put syllabus, is where you're going to find the ID, the course IDs that you're going to need to enroll in. Matter of fact, here they are right here. Okay? So we have for all sections, and I'll come to you in a second, Sarah. So do anybody know what section you are? Anybody know? Yeah, you guys are 69. So when you enroll, this is the course you'll use, right? So make sure you know your section number before you enroll and grab the right one. Sarah, do you have a question?
Yes, I still have my IT lab from last
Yeah. And if for some reason and then actually in general, let's just say this. If you've taken this course and didn't pass it in the last year, you should not have to buy my IT lab course again. You should be able to get in there. I've already sent messages to our representative who represents my IT lab, or Pearson, and they were great about getting people right back in there if for some reason you have any trouble. Yeah, and you need to enroll in this course. We can look at it, but yeah. Okay? All right, so what's my point here is that you need to, when you go into and set up your My IT lab, which by the way, what's the other, what other thing is in My IT lab besides the simulations is the ebook, okay? And by the way, the other thing the ebook's great for is when you're taking the quizzes, you can search through their interface because it's an ebook for terms that'll help you answer the questions. Okay, so those are really great stuff in there. A lot of reasons to do it. Okay, so the other thing is class chat. Yesterday I went ahead and recorded a short video and I put it up here. Yeah, good job. On how to get onto class chat. So you all need to, as part of your week 2 classwork, watch this video. Okay, so let me just click on it here. So put it in your notes. You're going to need to watch it and just include. It's a 5-minute video, so it's not that long. Okay. And I just have to tell you, my grandson, I had to invite him into the chat to get it started, and he didn't realize I was recording, and he starts chatting with me in the video, and I left some of it in because it's really funny. But anyway, so it's really short. I definitely, here's the deal. I'm kind of, and Sarah and I were talking about this, and I hope you don't mind me saying you were here last semester. Okay. So I've been using Class Chat or Google G+ Hangout for about a year, and all my students really have given me great feedback because the thing is, I'm not always going to be available when you're available, right? I'm like an early morning, go to bed at 9 kind of gal. Okay, that's my life. So it's so funny. The other night, the other morning, I woke up and I had a student saying, "I'm so sorry to email you at this time of night." And I'm like, "I didn't get it. Don't worry about it, right? You can still email me." But on Class Chat, if there are other people that are up and that can help you, right? And Adrian's been great already. He's been on there every time I send somebody in. He welcomes them. It's awesome. Thank you so much for that, right? So I'm not going to make it a requirement, but here's what I'm going to say to you. When you're in class, getting support's pretty easy, right? It's when you're out of class that really it hits you, and for online students, that's a big deal too. So when you're emailing me questions, guess what I'm going to say to you? I would say, that's a great question for Class Chat. Are you on it? Okay, so if you want to get on it, all you have to do is email me at my Gmail, from your Gmail, and say, "Hey, add me to Class Chat." Now, do tell me you're asking to be added, because I've had people email me just with their Gmail, and that's it. They don't say anything, and I'm like, okay, good. What do you want? I want to be added to Class Chat. Okay, good. Add. Now, I have given another option, but it's not going to be as effective as just to reply here, but I won't check this as often. Right? Because the thing is about Google Hangout, you can have it on your phone, even if you're iPhone, right? You can have it on your desktop. I show you how to do the plugin. I show you what it's going to look like. So that video is really important. So what do you need to do? You need to watch what? Yeah, which is 5 minutes, and take notes on it. So when I see your week 2 classwork, I want to see a heading for Class Chat and put that in there. And again, I'm not going to make it a hard requirement. I'm going to make it a high suggestion. And when you're asking me questions, I'll say, "Hey, are you on Class Chat?" Okay. By the way, my schedule. Also in class syllabus, right here, in syllabus in our course. By the way, this is a Google Doc right here. This right here, the syllabus is actually just what we call an embedded Google Doc. So I also give you an external link to that Google Doc as well. Either way, you can click here to find my schedule of when I'm either in class or my office hours, you know, and definitely the best time to ask me, come see me, is obviously during my office hours. I am very much considering holding an office hour in this lab after this class, because I found out yesterday there's an open hour after this. So I'm thinking, how many of you would like to have the opportunity? Okay, that would be awesome. So I'm thinking of doing that. So, but if you want to find my schedule, you can find it right there on the syllabus. Okay. I think that was all I had there. Oh, so thanks, Google Slides. You're going to do it again. So I did this chart because I was thinking about, I want to give you a context to understand the way this class may be different from some of your other classes. So I did a Excel sheet, and I put somewhat normal classes, right? Normal classes, when you start out week 1, you really don't do anything. You'd maybe take a little quiz or something, and then you have that huge midterm, right? Most classes, huge percentage. Goes down, maybe you have a paper, some other stuff, and then you have that final at the end. This class, very different in the respect that we have work starting from week 1. It's fairly consistent until we get to the lab test. which are 5% of your grade. So you're going to see a bump there. You'll see a bump at the 3 lab tests, which are each worth 5%. And then you see a bump at the end for the final. But in general, here's how I draw the analogy of my class versus somebody else's. Somebody else's is like, you know, wait, get a lot of done, wait. My class, steady. It's kind of like a marathon, right? So just as you're running this marathon, you know, if you get behind, get caught up in this. Because if I see students get behind, in general, when I've seen them get behind more than 1 or 2 weeks, the chances of them coming back get slimmer for every week that goes by. So if you get behind, you want to get caught up as soon as possible because, again, 4 due dates per week, that's a lot, right? And it's not that it's a lot of time, it's just that you got to organize and keep it chunked. This makes sense? Yeah, because, and also, you know, I don't give this I don't, you know, give a huge test that accounts for a lot of your grade, because really I'm looking at trying to immerse you in this technology and really have you use it on a daily basis, which most of you are in some ways already. Okay, good. Now, last topic about Rio. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes to do it. I did this for the other class, but I'm actually going to do something a little different here. And in general, this is kind of my tagline for life is I love my job, I love my life, I love my world, right? And people are, you know, it's really easy to be pessimistic when you look at the world. It's easy to be pessimistic. Sometimes it takes a little work to be optimistic. But I'm really optimistic. And so one of the things I want to show you is kind of a photo essay. So I decided today I'd take a little photo essay of my house. Okay, so yeah, just keep it on the screen. Do me a favor, drop that first bank of lights. So this is my bunny. He's a free range, yeah, just the front ones. He's a free range bunny. Notice I have no grass. I've killed it all. We are water conscious people. We actually use, and I want this in your notes, 70% less than the average household for our size. Significant water decrease, but it's my free range bunny. I love him. He's awesome. He has free range to go anywhere in the yard that he wants. He won't leave because there's dogs in the neighborhood and he knows when he has a good deal. Okay, this is solar. We have 70% of our house is powered by solar energy. This is the pool I have. It's a natural pool. It is as clean as the drinking water that comes out of your fountain. You can definitely drink it. It's really awesome. I love it. It's a very small pool. You may not be able to see it from this perspective, but I love my pool. I actually swim all year round. I'm swimming now. I actually go from the sauna to the pool. There's really something good. If you know about Finnish people, they actually do that. This is part of their life. I've noticed this is really beneficial for me. If I go from the hot sauna, where I go like 160 degrees, down to about 30 or 40. Like that. Wakes you up, guaranteed, wakes you up, right? So the other thing is like I said, we capture our water. We actually have one of our, this is from our kitchen. One of our sinks actually goes out to capture tanks, and then we use that water out in our garden and other areas. I'm actually working on even an improved system of this, working with a guy today, actually even getting some stuff done. This is all from today. My wife runs a raw vegan food truck all over Fresno, getting ready to open a restaurant down in the downtown area. I don't know if you all know about what's happening in Fresno, but the downtown area is exploding around here, which is really, really awesome. We need a vibrant downtown area. So we're excited to be part of this adventure. Again, this is my yard. I've killed it. And I'm digging right now. Anybody happen to guess why I'm digging now? Because it rained. And because it rained, the soil is soft, right? So I'm really, like, every moment I can find a few minutes, I'm going out to dig right now. Is my chickens? I got 2 chickens. One of them, the littler one here, still gives us eggs. I am mostly vegan, although I do eat my chicken's eggs because I know where they come from, okay? But she only lays 1 every 3 or 4 days. She stopped laying a couple years ago, but I love them. They are just so freaking cute. I just talk to them all the time. Over the break, I got into adult coloring books. Have you heard of this? This is a thing. This is awesome. If you're not doing it, it's so good for your brain, right? So this is my current project that I'm working on, which, by the way, can you tell what my stand is? It's my Mac. Flipped over. It's the best. Anyway, sorry. So here are some of the ones I did over break. Thank you. I actually used to have him a call. He died years ago. I can't talk about it. I'll cry. This was so fun. I had so much fun doing this. Thank you. I feel like an artiste, and I'm not. I'm just coloring. It's awesome, right? I mean, it's totally awesome. Ah, thank you. This was the first one. So this actually, we gave this to the daughter, our daughter, for Christmas, and we all sat around, and this was the first one, and that led to all these others because I was like, I was on it at that point. I'm like, now I go to adult coloring events. I mean, I'm sick into it. Okay, yeah. It's a good question, actually. We'll just leave it like that for a second. The question was, if you didn't hear it, and the online students might not. So the whole thing about growing right now is I really want to, but first I want to implement a bigger water capture system. We are so lucky in Fresno, you all. We live around some of the best small farmers in the country right now. And if you're not going to farmers markets around Fresno, you're missing out. So right now it's so easy to get good local produce. I'm tempted to just focus on other things but I do want to grow. And I do grow some food, but not as much as I'd like to. Yeah, good question. Any questions you want? Okay, so the other thing, there's the egg. She does give us eggs. I do a lot. So besides my helping my wife's business, teaching here, I do volunteer work for Google. I actually I help with two basic communities. I help with Women Tech Makers Fresno and Google Developer Groups, and this was an event we ran last year. We showed a movie over at the OAB. This is me on a conference call with Google. I actually get to visit Google 3 to 4 times a year, which is awesome, by the way. Awesome. It's so awesome. It's like beyond awesome. So I love it there. Every time I go, it's fun. This is because I'm an organizer for Women Tech Makers. We're doing some initiatives right now, which is fun because it keeps me in the community. This is my grandson. I love him. He's so cute. He's so cute. This is the three of us. We have two grandsons. We were at Thanksgiving. We're having fun. Notice I'm wearing Google Glass. You don't see a picture, but later he's wearing Google Glass because he's such a geek. You know, this is me at Facebook. Totally had fun there. My friend Todd, who teaches here as well, taught for Google, as well as I did. But also, before I get there, downtown is really coming alive, partly because we have a huge tech hub going in. So for those of you thinking about tech, Fresno is really becoming a real opportunity. This is a huge building downtown. They're doing some cool stuff. It's called Bitwise. This was their opening party. Had so much fun that night. So this is the inside. It's a 2-story building. It's totally awesome. If you want a tour, let me know. I go down there quite often, so it's totally fun. This is Jenny from Google, a good friend of mine. I wouldn't say good, she's a friend of mine. This is Steve Wozniak. You know who that is? The guy who really created Apple Computer. Steve Wozniak came to Fresno, and he was there. It was totally awesome. This is me. This is 59 days ago. This is also my profile picture wherever you see me, because it's the best picture of me I have. I love sunflowers. I grow them all the time. This is Leah, our daughter, and this is a trampoline we bought. They live up on the hills, and we had so much fun. This is another event at GeekWise. Right now, where 59 days is, or where Bitwise is. This is our living room. We have an old 1957 home, although it's awesome. I love our house. And this is our pool table / dining room. Now it's part of the business, so it's not as fun as it used to be. This is me with another guy from Google, Martin. He's a cool guy. This is me at Google, sitting there, actually at the Google office in San Francisco with the bridge behind me. Totally fun that day. This is me with another VP from Google. I don't even know this guy's name. He just told me he was a VP. This is one of my prize pictures. This woman is Megan Smith. She is, right now, the top information officer in the United States. After I met her, I got to know her a little bit. She was promoted last year. She is now, for the United States of America, the top technology person. So, great honor for me to get to meet her. I also met another VP from Google. He no longer is at Google, but he's still a cool guy. Notice how white his teeth is. I'll never forget when I first saw the photo. I'm like, dude, I should have totally whitened my teeth because his were so white. This is a good friend of mine, James Cha. Him and I run GDG Fresno, which is Google Developer Groups, and he's just a cool guy. This is a letter I cut off. Google sent me. They send me once in a while just like goodies. I love it. I'm just like, get stuff in the mail. It's totally fun. So this is me teaching at Google. I got 2 opportunities to teach at Google. I'm almost done. So I started to put this album together and it just kept getting bigger. So sorry, right? This is me teaching at Google in Mountain View, and then I taught for them 4 years ago, and then I taught for them at Mountain View, and then they sent me to London, and I taught for them at London, which was awesome. So I have a great life. I'm really blessed. This is a picture of Google when we were there. This is one of those panoramic pictures. I suspect some of you have taken pictures like that. This is my family. Haven't seen them in a little while. This is my mom, my sister, my wife, the kids from my where's he at? He's not in this picture. It's my other sister. So that's my family. All right, turn on the lights. Okay. Any questions? Wow, that was fun. I don't know about for you, but that was totally fun for me. Yeah. So actually, I try not to promote my business in my classroom, but I will say this. rawfresno.com shows all the locations we're at. We're at 4 locations a week, and the store will open sometime in March or February or March. We got several grants because we are a environmentally conscious business. Because do you know, I'm not telling you all to stop eating meat, but do you realize the pollution impacts of meat production in this country? It's really, really, it's like if they were all free range and we were all out there killing our own food, it'd be one thing, but we're not. We're putting it in these small buildings, injecting it, and then we're injecting that in our bodies. So not only is it bad for us, it's bad for the world because of all the pollution. So we're a vegan-based business. We promote, healthy plant-based foods. I've lost and kept off about 80 pounds over the last, I've had it off now, kept almost all of it off for almost 6 years now. So I feel really good. I have a ton of energy pretty much all the time, which is totally fun. Any other questions? So in your notes, yeah.
How did you get into being with Google?
That's a good question. I thought in my photo essay, one of the photos was my first visit. It was right here. Matter of fact, this was me in 2006. I know the lights are back on, so you might not be able to see it as well. But in 2006, my buddy Todd, who I showed in another photo, got an opportunity to take some students there, and I got to go in 2006, and I just met people, and I kept networking, and I kept doing stuff. And you know the old adage, it's not just, it's who you know. My adage is, it's not just who you know, it's what you do with who you know. And I just continually did stuff, volunteered for them, and now I just do it in a bigger way. Yeah, it's totally fun. It's totally, like I said, I get to go. I'm going in March for 2 days. I'm going at the end. Matter of fact, I may not be here finals week. I'll be gone for 5 days during that time. So it just is fun because it keeps me in my industry, and Google is just cooler than cool. So can you tell I'm a Google fangirl? Yeah. Just a little bit, Right, just, yeah. And I was kind of like the billboard today, right? I was like, right? Every day, yeah. Yeah, if you go to my closet, if I could take a picture, it'd be like t-shirts, pants, jacket, right? It's like the uniform is t-shirts because I have a ton of awesome t-shirts. So, okay. Anything else you want to know? And the online students may not have heard all that. Hopefully they got the gist of it. So actually, it's a good question. This semester, we run the women's event. So this semester, matter of fact, on Sunday, we're doing the planning meeting, and I asked, can I bring my color books, right? So we actually are doing the planning meeting for the International Women's Day, which we do a tech-focused women's event, and everyone's welcome. Even though we say it's focused on women tech, the guys always go, you mean I can't come? I'm like, no, that's not what that means. Right, so we will be planning one sometime in March, working on that right now. The Dev Fest is a developer fest we hold. We've held 4 now. We held one in here last semester. It's pretty big for Fresno. We're one of the largest tech events in Fresno now, and we will have one here in October, already planned. So I do a lot of work with the community, and I love it. I absolutely love helping build communities. It's really fun for me. Okay, let's show them. And let's all wave bye-bye, bye-bye, and then drop the recording.